kind of moving into that space, like if you are going to be that head of that family office, whether you're the real estate or the mortgage professional, you need to have a solid understanding of how to refer to your trusted professionals. So first and foremost, having the trusted professionals is step one. The more I get into this, right, the more we really dive into this way of doing business, I honestly, and I've been doing this way. I've been in the mortgage space on this side of it, like the relationship based, working with realtors, working with clients face to face since 2011. Really, all the way up until about 2018, I was very normal, right? And our team, even though we had great customer service and a really great customer experience, our value proposition was almost exactly the same as everybody else's. And it's only until recently that we've really dove into this platform, which is why we ultimately created it, to then say, how did I ever even do business before without having these people in my life? Like if I didn't have CPAs, financial planners, estate planning attorneys, family law practices, or mediation attorneys and contractors, why would anybody ever use me if I didn't have these people that I didn't just know in case someone asked me, but I actively helped our clients work with, because I really believed that I can improve their standing in finances and real estate, right? So now having those people on your platform is really important, right? So go to your trusted professionals page. If it's empty, you should have a kind of a hole in your gut, right? Like you really need that support staff to be able to deliver on this value proposition, because you should not wait for someone to say, hey, I need a CPA, financial planner, estate planning attorney. It's in what we do. It's in our initial phone call. And when I say ours, for the real estate professionals on the call, know that as you partner with the mortgage professional, the mortgage professional is going to handle 99.9% of this. But you'll have and then they'll refer to the people on your page, which will really, accelerate that reciprocity wheel. So as a mortgage professional, we're asking those questions, right? And when we ask the question and we get an answer, we're obligated. We have a fiduciary responsibility to put them in touch with people that can fill the hole they have in their financial real estate world, or their protection, or their estate planning, or their generational wealth plan, or lack thereof of any of those, right? So step one is have those people. Step two is helping in the conversion. So one of our partners I talked to the other day, and he was just saying, look, I'm referring to a lot of financial planners, but they're not like actually helping these people. They're having a conversation, but the client doesn't end up signing up with them. They don't end up managing their money. They don't end up helping them with a financial plan of any sort. It's just a conversation, and that kind of is where it stops. And it made me think of the same way that happens in every other handoff or referral, right? Is that we just assume the client's going to have the answer, right? So I'm looking at Brent here. So I'm going to he's on my screen right now. So I'm going to think, okay, if Brent's my client and Brent says, you know what, I have about $100,000 in a savings account, and I'm managing through this and that and the other, and I don't have an estate plan. I just, okay, great, Brent, I think you benefit from talking to a financial planner and an estate planning attorney. He goes, okay, great. If I just push him over to them, it's almost a 0% certainty, or 100% certainty, or a 0% chance that he's going to actually, do what he needs to do, right? Because first of all, I'm the most trusted person in this world to this date, because he doesn't know these people yet, right? So of all of us, of the three of us, the estate planning attorney, the financial planner, and me, he doesn't know them as well as he knows me. And we may have only been talking for 20 minutes thus far, but we still have developed a rapport. If I don't tell him why it's important to connect with those people and give him some semblance of what that conversation will look like, it's the same way as a realtor saying, oh, call Ryan and get pre-approved. Right? Like, okay, what does that even like? So the client calls me and says, Ryan, I was told to get pre-approved, but I'm not really sure if I want to do this. And I'm not, so that connection is going to be not great between me and the client if I'm the lender. If you flip that and the real estate agent says, hey, look, Mr. Smith, I think we should do this. Why don't I'm going to put you in touch with Ryan, our preferred financing team. It'd be great if you had a conversation about if this makes sense. He'll run the numbers, he'll analyze it for you. And if it does make sense, then, we can go ahead and get you approved and kind of move towards that. And if it doesn't, we'll create a plan and a strategy and a timeline. They're just going to ask you really great questions. They're going to give you a lot of confidence. And then, they'll schedule a consultation time with you. And at that point, we can kind of figure out if it makes sense. But here's why you want to go through that. Because if you don't get pre-approved, this happens. If you do, this happens, right? So you've discussed that process. That's a really great real estate professional handing off to a really great mortgage professional. Now, you don't want to be the average real estate and mortgage professional handing off to the average financial planner or estate planning attorney, right? So you want to say, Brent, here's what's important about estate planning, right? Like having a trust protects you here, here, and here. It protects your children in the event that something happens. It protects your individual livelihood for medical reasons. That's why role playing with those partners is going to be so helpful, right? Like you need to go through the experience with your partners yourself to be able to accurately and appropriately refer. So that's why all of our real estate partners that we work with at a high level, they sit through our consultations. They personally will go through the experience themselves so they can speak to it at a high level, right? And so we don't just want to pass them over and hope that person converts, because we're not talking about conversion, we're talking about help. So you need to role play with them through that process and then understand the client type, right? So if I have one of my referral partner or one of my financial planners who has like a $500,000 investment minimum, but they're incredible once they hit that limit, and I send them over, Johnny, first-time home buyer, who's putting 3.5% down and doesn't have a whole lot of money left over afterwards, that's my fault, right? Like, of course he's not going to help him. And Johnny's probably going to feel not that great, which is why you have three, right? You have maybe the higher end for your higher net worth clients. You have your middle level where they work with some high-end clients, but they also work with some entry level. And then you have your straight entry level, right? Which they help people with mainly, life insurance and some other small things, and maybe some, small investment accounts that they kind of start on. So you want to make sure that the right client goes to the right partner. Same thing with estate planning attorneys. Same thing with CPAs. You should have a CPA who focuses almost exclusively on business owners, multiple levels of real estate, very higher end, but they don't do regular 1040s. Then you should have the guy who just cranks out 1040s and works with the average Joe. And he'll do some bigger stuff as well, but that's more his model, right? So understand your client type and put them in touch with the right trusted professional, because you're not going to be that person. You're not going to be the trusted family office, for lack of a better term, if you can't necessitate that and you can't really put it in the right position. So again, let me know if you have questions on that. Next is going to be expectation setting. So if I just send Brent over to my financial planner and say, you know what, you got some money here, you have some good disposable income, you have an IRA that looks like you have maybe a 401k you haven't rolled over from a previous job that's kind of hanging around, you definitely want to talk to a financial planner of some sort, right? Somebody who can help you understand this. But let me tell you what you can expect there, right? Like if you do this, you can expect, they typically make around 1% of your managed account. They'll help you every year, kind of the same way that we help you year in and year out manage your real estate and your debt. They're going to help you manage how you invest your money, right? And how you will, save your money, right? And there's going to be clients that may not have enough money to really start that. So maybe they offer them some semblance of term life insurance or something to really make sure the home is protected. And then they just set them up on a Schwab self-managed index fund account, right? Where, they're not going to have a lot of money. Maybe they put a couple $100 into that account and just kind of let that roll, right? And so the last thing I want anybody on here, because we get, we know there's small markets, and we know small markets don't have, a ton of clients that have a significant amount of passive income. But don't tell yourself the story that, oh, this isn't for my clients. My clients are just scraping the bottom of the barrel. They're trying to just find enough money for down payment. They have credit challenges. They have debt. It's like, who else in the world needs your help more than that person? Right? There's a reason that person is in that position. And it's because nobody else has decided that that person is worthy of getting any sort of other help other than selling them something, which puts them in an even worse position. So, it really rubs me the wrong way when I hear people say, oh, it's not really for our market. It sounds like, for that type of art of home ownership thing, you probably need clients that have the ability to work with financial planners. And that's complete, excuse my language, but it's complete bullshit.
Hey,
right?
Ryan.
So, what's that?
Hey, Ryan, Sprint.
Yeah, hey, bud.
Hey, real quick, just yesterday, it's right here on point. I had a realtor refer me a client, not a big housing loan, but she had $3 million in the bank. And so we
Yeah.
started talking about the art of home ownership and why the realtor partner and I give this as a free gift and what it's going to do to protect her and to help her grow and meet all of her financial needs. And we just kind of walked through it in general. Hadn't even shown anything yet. But I said, we have financial planners, we have wealth managers, we have professionals that we will put around you to create that force field so you are
Yep.
protected from life's events. And she goes, man, it's really interesting that you say that because I really need a financial planner. And, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding. I said, okay, help me understand, what are you doing with your 3 million now? Where is it sitting? Who has it? What's going on with it? What are you earning? What do you plan to do with it? What do you like to do with it? And so today I'm going to refer her to, after another conversation, to set the expectation, to make sure she understands she has a need, make sure she understands why we need to fill the need, and then help her understand the two people I'm going to refer her to. One does a fee base from $750 up to $3,000. The other one is $4,000 to $5,000, but each one of them go in very different directions with their plans. And I want her to have a conversation with both of them so she understands more about what she's getting. So without the platform, I wouldn't have gotten that loan yesterday because I was competing with two other people. And once she found this out and she understood the kind of the process we were going to walk her through, it became a no-brainer. She committed immediately.
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, thank you for sharing that, and that's incredible. You just asked the right questions, right? You uncovered the need, you filled the need, and she was able to see way more value from you. Because I promise you, what you're going to do for her with that $3 million in her long term and her family is going to absolutely, and you said it's a small loan amount, right? So like you'll make her 100 times the amount of money as you would on a eighth of a point or quarter point savings difference, right? So, and again, not every client's going to be in that boat, but your real estate professional will never have to worry about them using a discount realtor or an online brokerage again, because they're involved in that process. You'll have a client for life. You'll have that family office surrounding her. And that's what, you did a great job. You set expectations, you let them know, that it'll make them more confident. They can make their open-minded decisions. So all these things are super helpful. The only thing I would change there, Brent, is don't say that you're offering her a free service. I would change the script to that and say, I want you to know we invest in our clients by investing in all these areas, because we all know it's not free, right? Like we pay for all of these services. If they were free, then we could call them that. But say we're different because we don't just give you a free service. We invest in our clients as opposed to marketing for new clients that don't like us or that don't know us. And you're the beneficiary of our investment, right? So I would just always say it's not free. It's an investment we create. It doesn't cost you anything, but it's not free. Paul's asking a question here. What's the process and scripting of bringing my trusted partners to the AOH platform? Paul, it is a great question, and I will pull it up here for you. So when you become a partner on the platform, you get access to this. And Paul, I don't know if you have or not yet, so I apologize. You may be in that onboarding stage, but it's all kind of worked right through here. So it says how to partner with trusted professionals, right? So it's how to find and engage with them, the importance of trusted professionals on our platform. We have scripting in the implementation on all this stuff. So it's all in there, but and we have previous trainings that we've done on it that are saved here in the weekly trainings, and we'll continue to add to it. But ultimately, your mortgage professional who you partner with on the platform will help you with that process, because every time they talk to one of your clients, they're going to ask, who's your CPA, who's your financial planner, estate planning attorney on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate them? And if they say they're a 9 or 10, we're going to reach out, create that conversation, see if they're a good fit to go on the platform, and then add them. If they say they're 1 to 8, we refer them to one of ours. So with every client of yours, your mortgage professional should be referring to or getting a referral from that client that will ultimately, add to your platform, along with, how to find them. We did a training with Tom last week where we showed how to find financial professionals, how to look them up on FINRA. You can see how much money they have invested in money under management. So we have all that stuff there. Jeff is saying, part of the problem I had when I'm referring to buyers over financial partners was I didn't make explaining the importance of mortgage planning up front, and they only included the conversation during the post-closing call. Yeah, I think that's a great point. Jeff works with us here in our region, and he was just saying that, you guys can see it in the chat box, but if you don't talk about this up front, like Brent did, about really, real estate and mortgage planning at a high level, then if that's not the reason they worked with you to begin with, they're probably not going to find a whole lot of value in it once you're done, right? And so you have to talk about it up front. I mean, I can't go more than 4 seconds without talking about it. Literally any person I talk to, I'm telling them what we're doing, why we're doing it, and they're just like, wow, that's cool, that's unique, I've never heard of that. That seems very interesting. So definitely bring it up front, and then have the post-closing call at the end. Push them out to all the right people, and then let the system do the work. And you guys will see phenomenal results. And we are fundamentally going to change our industry. I promise you that. We are the agent and the mortgage lender who is trying to sell what people are selling yesterday. It's just not going to work anymore. And I'll show you why when we get to the end of this presentation. So